Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my spoiler-free review of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is not my first time for reading this book. I've already read it once before in 2020, but I should say I was disappointed with the book that time because I listened to it on audio. So my suggestion would be to not listen to this book but go and physically read this because it's also a short book and it has a lot of philosophical content put into it, which I'm sure that it'll be useful for many people during various walks of life. So without any further ado, let's get into the different sections of the review. First, let's see something about the plot of this book. It deals with the story of a young boy named Santiago who is a shepherd, and what happens during a specific day is that he gets this dream which is very specific, in which a girl child comes and tells to him the location of a treasure, and he thinks that this dream must mean something because it has occurred to him twice and it has ended in the same spot both the times without completion. So he tries to find this location and how to get there. During all this process, he meets totally 4 people, and those 4 people guide him to find the treasure that he's trying to find and get and make his life better. He's also a person who likes to travel, so this is a book which is like a huge journey of Santiago from when he was a shepherd and whether or not he is going to find the treasure towards the end or not. It is very philosophical in nature. I am sure that the plot of this book is not the main aspect that you'll be seeing while reading the book at all. It is also a book that does not dwell on the ending or the conclusion. The entire journey of the book is the thing that matters, which I did not know when I read it for the first time, so I was disappointed. So I'm just telling it to you guys now itself. Pay more attention to the journey of Santiago rather than just the beginning or the ending, because there's not that much that you can enjoy in the beginning and ending, though it is also very legit in many ways. But this journey, I'm sure that you will like it a lot if you like traveling, if you like philosophy, if you like spirituality, all these things put together, because it is the main focus of his journey, and how he finds himself and the self-realization that he gets is the actual plot of the book. Next, let's see something about the characters. We have 6 to 7 main characters throughout the book, and not all the characters occur throughout the story. The only character that we get to see to the entirety of the story is Santiago himself, since he's the main character. Apart from him, he meets 4 different people who are the guides in his journey throughout. Of these, the first one is a king. The next person that he meets is a merchant, and he does something for the merchant. The merchant does something in back for him, and that also paves a way for finding his route towards the treasure that he's wanting to find. The third person is an Englishman, and there are also some things that happen with the Englishman. Something happens with all these people and Santiago, and all those events shape his journey in a really beautiful way, if you ask me. And finally, the fourth person is the actual alchemist that he's been kind of looking for this entire time, and the alchemist is the person who actually reveals a lot of things to Santiago and makes him find himself and the treasure that he wants to find. There are multiple layers that you can peel back and see for each and every character in this one, because though the sentences or dialogues that they speak seem like one-liners, the meaning behind each and every sentence told by each and every character has a lot of meanings which you can comprehend in different ways and take forward in your own interpretation, because it is written in such a way. It's such a short book. I've told many things in the same aspect about The Prophet, that it is a book written with short verses, but the meaning behind each and every line in that book is a lot. It's in the same way for this one also. I think that's one of the main reasons it is very much suitable for beginners, because while you start reading this book, there's not a specific way in which you can understand the story. It just differs from person to person, and that's the beauty of it. Next, I want to talk about the setting of this book. Now, the entirety of the story takes place in different regions where there are deserts. So I'd highly recommend you to try reading this book during the summer, which is the perfect time if you're living in India, just like me. In Chennai, we are facing a lot of heat now itself, and I'm very glad that I read this during a Sunday afternoon, because it was so hot, and it just proved to be the perfect type of weather for reading this book, because I was able to correlate with this heat with that story, because it was so gelling in many ways, and it just elevated the experience a lot for me. So I'd highly recommend you to try reading this in the upcoming 3 or 4 months, because you'll just get the entirety of the experience while reading the book, and it'll feel a lot atmospheric. And though he does not go into a lot of description and tells us how the place is, he makes us understand this is the setup in which we are in, and he makes us experience the place in which the story is being told. It doesn't feel like you're just reading a story. You are able to be there with Santiago by his side and see his journey, and you're being able to sense some of the things that he's feeling because it's written in such a beautiful way. Talking about the writing aspect itself, it is very, very, very easy to read. It's very much beginner friendly. That's one of the main reasons I do think that many people recommend this for beginners, just as I said before, and I'd also recommend this for any beginner out there because it'll make you feel hungry or thirsty for reading more books, because the amount of philosophy and spirituality that this book contains within the short amount of pages in which it is written, also expressing such a beautiful story to us, is something which I have not read before. Okay, I didn't even remember most of the things that were in this one from when I read it a year back in audiobook. So just as I said before, please if you could try to grab a physical copy and read it. Don't listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is also not long, it's just 4 hours, but I do think that this is one of those books which needs to be physically read and enjoyed, because it just gave me that full experience rather than listening to the audiobook for the first time, and that's one of the reasons why I did not like it that much in the first go itself. Two things which I liked a lot about the writing in this one is that it had a lot of metaphors which made me interpret the different things that Santiago was feeling in his life and putting it forward in my life, and just comparing different things using all the metaphors that he has provided in that one. And it is very philosophical, just as I said before, and spiritual in many aspects. I'm sure that if you're working on your spiritual health just like I am, this will definitely be a really good addition to your reading list. So obviously my final rating for this one was 5 stars, and I could not believe that I rated it 3 stars for the first time that I listened to it and did not read it physically. So again, I'm stressing this, try to read it physically rather than listening to it on audio, because the experience is totally different in both the formats, and I liked the physical reading aspect a lot more. And yeah, that's it for today. If you did enjoy watching today's video and found it useful or helpful in some way or the other, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.